After battling a serious illness for 5 years, Hiraku's life came to an end, and his soul went to heaven. God apologized to him for accidentally giving him such a horrible, agonizing 35 years of life. In order to make up for his error, God gives him a second life with a healthy body and vows to grant all of his desires. All Hiraku ever wanted was to be reborn as a farmer in a remote place, so God gave him the almighty farming tool before sending him to a new world. Hiraku wakes up in the forest, and the almighty farming tool appears in his hand. Realizing that his wish has been granted, Hiraku begins clearing the land and finds out that using the tool never wears him out. Nevertheless, he had to locate a nice spot for his house, so he looked around and found a massive tree. Since there were no ponds or rivers in the forest, Hiraku made the decision to dig a well in order to get some water. His almighty farming tool transformed into a shovel, and it allowed him to dig a water source. Moments later, he began clearing the land with his almighty farming tool, and prepared the logs for his shelter. However, the sun started to set, so Hiraku decided to spend the entire night inside the hole he carved in the giant tree. Even after days of removing every tree in the distance, Hiraku has never felt hungry or exhausted. Suddenly, a monster rabbit rushed towards him, and Hiraku decided to make some skewers out of it. Hiraku wishes to find a different kind of meat that he can penetrate with his own meat. Sorry, I mean a tasty meat that he can eat when he feels hungry. After eating the food, Hiraku created an alternative toilet with shelter for privacy. Upon settling everything, he began wondering which vegetables he should plant first. The next day, Hiraku was surprised to see that plants were already growing, and he began thinking that this was the side effect of his almighty farming tool. After a few days, Hiraku observed that the plants had been growing incredibly fast. Moments later, Hiraku found a couple of injured wolves, so he decided to bring them inside before feeding them with his leftover meat. Shortly after, the female wolf began to give birth, and Hiraku brought them into his log house to keep them warm and safe. The next day, Hiraku came to see 4 little puppies, and he gave them the tastiest meat he had. After Hiraku built a new house right next to them, he realized that his plants were ready for harvest. He then offered some of them to the wolves before naming them Kuro and Yuki. After a few weeks, Hiraku learned all the secrets behind his almighty farming tool, so he used this trick to create all the foods he'd ever wanted. Grateful that the gods gave him such an overpowered item, Hiraku created 2 statues to worship them. One afternoon, he decided to begin planting some fruit-bearing trees for a change in his diet. As weeks passed by, the wolves started growing horns, and they found a waterfall not so near their base. However, Hiraku decided to focus on his base for the time being, so months of his hard work had passed, and Hiraku began losing track of days. To prepare for the winter, he began gathering food and firewood, but Kuro brought him over to meet a giant spider named Zabuton. Using her silk, she could produce different textiles, so she became the newest citizen in his small village. Winter arrives, but with the fireplace he had built, he is able to survive the harsh cold nights. Eventually, Hiraku starts getting awfully lonely, worrying that he will forget how to talk to someone. After the winter season, the wolf and spider populations grow even more, so Hiraku starts farming even more so he can feed them all. One day, while he was farming, Zabuton sounded the alarm, so he checked it out only to find a silver-haired girl crying. She tried asking for Hiraku's help, and he fell for her trap because the girl jumped towards him to take a bite of his neck, transforming into a plot-filled vampire named Lou. The wolves attacked her, and she got clapped so hard that she transformed back into her little form. Feeling bad for how hard his dogs had clapped her, he offered her a bite of his neck, and she began sucking his blood out. After sucking all of his bodily fluid, Hiraku showed her around his farm, and Lou felt happy because it was his first time seeing these strange fruits. Back at his house, he realized that today had been full of surprises and wondered if something like this would ever happen again. Meanwhile, Lou asks him if she can come to visit him in the future, but Hiraku requests for her to stay with him forever. And just like that, he proposed to her and they quickly jumped for a one night of plot development. The next day, after cultivating the land with his new hoe, Zabuton begins ringing the alarm again, and Hiraku feels deja vu upon seeing the angel girl. Lou tries sneaking away, but the angel girl named Tia is ready to drag her away, so the dogs eat her out.
Damn!
Later, the 2 girls talked about how they climaxed when the dog ate them out, so Hiraku wondered how having an injury would lead them to climax. After doing some pleasant introductions, Lou bent over the table and asked Tia if she would live there. Lou offers to show her all of the crops, like Hiraku's eggplant, on top of their massive peaches.
Stop it. Get some help.
After a long day of farming, They cleaned themselves up using magic, and Tia ate Hiraku's strawberry for the first time. Lou even told her that she would also experience Hiraku's strawberry cream pie, and that is the start of them living all together. While they continued working, Hiraku noticed Kuro's new puppies, while all of Zabuton's children cast their silk to fly away. Not long after, Tia left and later returned along with the High Elves with giant plots. After the introduction, Hiraku wonders why there aren't any male elves, so Tia reveals their tragic story. With the village's population increasing, Hiraku began building a house for all of them to live together. Their skills in construction allowed them to build the house in just 10 days, and they even processed the iron into different stuff. They tell him that they can do all kinds of things, even plot development.
Yes! 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 Yes!
But Hiraku ignores their words and stays the typical anime protagonist he is.
No! No! No!
While farming one day, one of the elves asked him if she could make some bread, telling him she had the rarest yeast in the land. Hiraku was excited, so the girls began baking bread and turned it into breadsticks for Hiraku while wondering if his plot was also long and tasty. Now that he's finally able to make some bread, he would like to expand the wheat fields, but he realizes that their expansion is starting to get out of control. At night, the girls gather and wonder how Hiraku tames the inferno wolves and the demon spider and grow skeptical about his strange behavior. Meanwhile, Hiraku decides to make an accessible waterway a tomorrow's mission. In the morning, Zabuton caught a queen bee, so Hiraku decided to build a bee house for them to create honey for him. Then, Hiraku, along with the elves, spends the entire afternoon preparing a waterway for their reservoir.
We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused.
Hiraku noticed that the reservoir was also giving him fish without any work, so he decided to cook the fish, but the girls were a bit skeptical about it. Hiraku tried giving them some, but they told him they wanted a different kind of meaty dinner. Hiraku pretended not to hear anything, but the rest of the elves also wanted to have a taste of his meat. Later on, Hiraku began building a rice paddy with the elves and released all of the girls' floodgates, making all of the elves start to get wet as they all bent over to plant some of the rice plants. A few days later, the rice plants are ready for harvest, and Hiraku shows them the laborious preparation to have rice that no one cares about. Hiraku creates some rice balls for the girls, but they tell him they taste bad. However, Hiraku knows they are lying when all of the rice is gone. Days later, Hiraku and the girls began building the biggest bathtub ever, so Tia suggested using slimes to purify the dirty water. While Hiraku talks about the possible danger of the slimes, Tia has no idea what shit he's talking about. Moments later, they placed a few slimes in the water purification area inside the bathroom to do the work. After their wastewater problem was solved, Hiraku noticed some mushrooms growing around. He's a bit skeptical because they might be poisonous, but all of the girls thought it was safe and wanted to eat all of them. By sundown, Hiraku completed the bathtub preparations and showed the girls a hands-on experience. He removed his plot armor, and the girls started to feel a different kind of liquid dripping from inside.
Out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket.
That said, they all decided to join him for some bathtub plot development. The following morning, after welcoming the new elves, Leia suggests that they work on expanding his home so they can all have more space and plot development. Meanwhile, Kuro notices that his master's harem has been expanding, so he decides to tell his story that no one cares about.
You're a victim!
Weeks later, a new large house was built, and Hiraku never imagined how nice it would look inside. On the second floor, the girls saw their rooms, but Hiraku noticed the room for plot development, so he quickly locked it, pretending he did not see it. Inside his new house, Hiraku gathers all the ingredients for curry, but the girls wonder what weird food he is cooking next. Soon enough, Hiraku was finally ready to start cooking, but he noticed that the girls had gotten bored with his ugly ass and left. In the kitchen, Leia told him that her plot was better than the other girls anyway, but he ignored her words, and they proceeded to cook the meal. Later, the girls tried out his curry and shoved it down their throats, before getting a second round. The girls told him it tasted good, but what he didn't know was that they were all pretending to like it because they needed a different kind of meat. Winter will soon arrive, so Hiraku gathers a lot of firewood before creating an alternative freezer. Later that night, while Lou tries teaching him some magic, she randomly tells him that her plot is better than Tia's, so Hiraku tells her that all of them are amazing at using magic. Lou, however, tells him that he's the most amazing because, without him, the entire village wouldn't exist. When winter arrived and snow began piling up, Hiraku decided to build a few classic board games, like Reversi and chess. He taught them how to play the game, so Lu and Tia gave it their best shot. After 2 hours, Lu was about to be destroyed, so she pretended to have her hands slip to start all over. Meanwhile, he sees the other wolves playing chess correctly, and even though it may look cute at first, he feels an intense aura emanating from them. Later on, all 4 of them play mahjong, and Hiraku thinks he has the advantage, only to get clapped along with Lu in the end. After a few weeks, they were bored of board games, so Hiraku designed wooden bowling equipment that all the girls enjoyed playing with. The alternative refrigerator he created was working, and they enjoyed their delicious meals until the snow finally melted and spring arrived. Suddenly, Zabuton sounded the alarm to alert them of an approaching giant wyvern ready to cast a fire blow to destroy the tree. The girls defended the village from the fire attack while Hiraku manifested a spear and launched it to the enemy with all of his power, eliminating it instantly. After gathering the wyvern's meat, they all return home to cook some wyvern steak, which makes all the girls think this is the first time Hiraku's cooked something good. Lu then wonders if Tia can defend an attack from Hiraku's spear, but she tells her that it is impossible. The news of the wyvern being defeated spread like wildfire, and it bothers all the nearby higher-ups. The next day, Hiraku thinks of making PG grape juice, so the elves harvest the grapes and juice them out. After spending the entire day juicing out the grapes, they prepare the barrels for the fermentation process. One day, Zabuton sounded the alarm, and Hiraku knew it would be another deja vu experience. Lu saw her sister, Flora, who seemed to be in trouble, so Hiraku invited her to have a stay in the village. He then prepared her a nice meaty dinner, and she loves the soft white liquidy stuff in it. After staying for a few days, Flora decided to leave and returned a month later, along with an entire army of maids, telling Hiraku to use them however he wants. To stay competitive, Tia went off and returned with 3 other angels and 3 lizardmen. Moments later, Hiraku teaches the maids how to prepare many different kinds of meals. Meanwhile, Tia's 3 angels began patrolling the forest, while the lizardmen began speeding up the construction. Just when Hiraku noticed that this place was starting to grow exponentially, Leia comes in, bringing him the rest of the elves roaming the forest. A few days later, Hiraku asked all of the leaders to gather and help him come up with a village name. Zabuton then pointed towards the door, so Hiraku opened it and sees the giant tree at the center. He then named it the Great Tree Village, and that night he hosted a party for everyone, and they opened the first barrel of PG grape juice. All of the girls chanted the word mayor, so Hiraku wondered when was the last time he felt true happiness, and decided to give it a shot as a mayor. By the time summer arrived, a representative from the demonic kingdom named Bizzle appeared to discuss the status of their settlement. After drafting the agreement, Lu thinks Hiraku did an incredible job because now they will have protection under the Demon Lord's army. Moments later, the generals are shocked that the Angel of Annihilation and the Princess Vampire are standing beside the mayor. There's also an army of high elves, a pack of inferno wolves, a trio of killer angels patrolling the village, and the cloth used for the gift is made from the silk of the great demon spider. The following day, Doraim, the ruler of the dragons, introduces himself to Hiraku and gives him an expensive sword. Hiraku invites them for dinner, so Doraim changes into his human form and enjoys the PG grape juice. The next day, Hiraku built a guest house for visitors and created a new signal for them. Soon enough, a new group of visitors arrived, and they wanted to establish trade relations. But Hiraku wondered why they were treating them like prisoners. Hiraku wishes they could give them more food, but the maid gives him a cold glare. After talking with them, Hiraku discovered that they were from a village that made its living from hunting or mining. Eventually, the leader sealed their trade negotiation agreement and showed him the silverware and glasswork they produced from the ores, which they wanted to trade for some goods. Before long, their first day of trade with the Howling Village came, and the girls told Hiraku to stay back since Tia would be acting as their representative. Doraim agrees to take everyone there in exchange for a barrel of PG grape juice, but in reality, he is getting addicted to it. A few days later, Tia returned and told Hiraku they had managed to trade everything. They even sold the wine that was supposed to be for Doraim, so Hiraku promised he would give him even more grape juice that night. Tia revealed that the mayor of Howling Village asked if some of their villagers could come to live in the Great Tree Village. The following week, the Beast Girls introduce themselves and say they are mentally prepared to be used however Hiraku sees fit, as long as he doesn't abandon them. A few days later, an earthquake shakes the ground, and one of the angels comes to inform him that a grappler bear and a bloody viper are fighting. She flies him to the battle site, and with a single slash, he eliminates both of them. At home, he he began cooking the meat using PG grape juice and thought it tasted just like fried chicken. Moments later, he goes to ask Flora about her fermentation studies and got the ingredient he needed, so he later creates mayonnaise. Just then, a bunch of dwarves appeared with their leader Donovan because they've heard about the PG grape juice and they want to taste it in exchange for some technology that can make corn whiskey. That night, Hiraku held a party to welcome the beast women and the dwarves that joined their village. Dorium's addiction is getting out of hand, so his assistant ties him up and drags him away. The following morning, a dragon flies directly towards the village, and Hiraku tries to take it down before it causes any problems. In the last second, Dorium's assistant lets him know that they're not enemies, so he introduces the two new women, Dorium's daughter, Lasti, and mommy milkers, Graffelon. After hearing their concern, Hiraku realizes that Dorium has been constantly sneaking out of his home at night, so Mommy Milkers was worried he was getting some Mistress Milkers. Realizing how powerful Hiraku's army is, Graffelon tells Lasti that she has to make sure that his power will never turn against them. Hiraku gladly welcomes her to the village, and he assigns her for diplomatic relationships of their village. When Bizzle visited them again, he instantly recognized Lasti and ended up buying 10 boxes of whatever she's talking about. Back at the demonic castle, Bizzle asks her daughter, Forum, to live with them and investigate their military strength. After seeing how powerful Hiraku's army is, all of her confidence has left her body. That said, she wonders just how powerful the mayor could be, but sees Hiraku walking by and wonders why such a weak person lives in this village. Moments later, after realizing she just met the mayor, Forum is shocked because she was extremely rude to him. As days passed with her living in the village, Hiraku noticed that she was getting closer to Lasti, but wondered why she was so awkward around him. One day, one of the slimes begins devouring a barrel of grape juice, so the girls are ready to execute it. Hiraku felt bad for the slime, so he let it slide because he thinks one cute slime shouldn't be a problem. Autumn came around, and Hiraku wished he could eat some seafood, so Forum tells him that if he wants ocean access, he can travel to the southern port of the village to trade for ocean products. Lasti volunteers to go there, and 3 days later, a merchant from the ocean city came back with Lasti, showing them all the fish products he has to offer. The merchant has 3 main goals: to properly greet the mayor of this village, to begin trade negotiations, and to become the official trade ambassador for this village. At night, Hiraku prepares the new seafood he's collected and gives it to all the girls. The following morning, another dragon appeared, and it launched a fireball deep into the forest, signaling that it wanted to fight Hiraku. Suddenly, Dorium flies and explains the situation because the dragon is actually Hakurin, his older sister. After finding out that her niece was getting married, she wanted to come and find out how strong the mayor truly was. While they ate the good dinner he created, Hakurin wanted to play the plot removal mahjong. Not long after, his chances of winning has reached 0%, so everyone sees his massive persuasion. Meanwhile, the Demon Lord sighs and asks Bizzle what he should do about his daughter who's been in a bad mood all day. Hakurin, on the other hand, became a teacher for the young ones after attacking the village. The next day, 3 hot Lamia girls begged Hiraku to save them because Kuro's grandchildren had invaded their dungeon in the forest, causing them to flee their homes. Since they traveled all this way, they also decided to trade Lamia's precious gems in exchange for their crops. Hiraku promised to protect their homes in the future and wanted to request that they put on plot armor if they were to ever visit again. Back at the demonic castle, 3 girls gathered under the Demon Lord's daughter and begged her to save Forum from the Great Tree Village. Bizzle visits Forum's office and reveals that the princess has been gathering troops to invade the Great Tree Village, and the invasion day will be tomorrow. Forum thinks of a way to scare them, so the following day, the enemy soldiers beg the Lamia girls to have mercy on them. At the village, Forum introduces the 3 girls from the Demon Kingdom, who seem to have given up on their will to leave. But Forum reassures Hiraku that they're just emo. Their leader introduces herself as Yuri, and Forum explains there's no need to treat her with care, and just use her like any other NPC. Moments later, the girls enjoy dinner, glad they no longer have to worry about the political BS. Hiraku's glad they've adjusted so quickly but notices that Lu's size hasn't changed, so he thinks that she might be sick. After playing with the Beast Kids for weeks, Yuri had to leave the village before her father got concerned. Inside the castle, the Demon Lord confronts Bizzle and tells him that his daughter has been different since she came from the village. Bizzle tells him that she's likely interested in diplomacy and politics, so the Demon Lord realizes she might have met a man and thinks that he will tear the entire nation apart until he finds him. The winter preparations began, and Hiraku was shocked to see their amazing harvests. Lasty asked if she could get some of the extra food for her parents, and Harukan wanted to do the same. Her father is the Emperor Dragon of the North, while her mother is the Hurricane Dragon of the South. Hakurin then headed north, and on her way back, she brought the surviving mountain elves. After being welcomed to the village, the mountain elf leader thanked Hiraku and told him that she would sleep in his bed if he wanted. That night, Hiraku decided to build a men's bathhouse so no girls would see his persuasion. Eventually, winter began approaching, and Hiraku saw that Lu was bedridden, and he wondered why she hadn't been feeling well. Not long after, Sina reveals that Lu is pregnant and that Hiraku will soon become a father. After the winter has ended, Hiraku wakes up as soon as the sun rises to avoid waking up too early since the maids insist on waking up earlier than him. He also discovered that people weren't accustomed to having a meal during the afternoon, so he began serving them lunch. After that, Hiraku began planting all types of roses and flowers so their village felt a little more civilized. Additionally, he had begun creating furniture for everyone and toys for the children. Soon, he also began creating swords so that the villagers could have a good form of cardio. Hiraku's wooden sword is also feeling weird, so he decides to go and practice on his own. He tries throwing some daggers and successfully fails, so Yaa comes to show him how it's done. To regain himself from embarrassment, Hiraku uses his spear, and Yaa says she wants to feel his other spear penetrating her.
Stop it. Get some help.
After a long day, he bathed alone and tried relaxing at night, but all of the girls were spying on him. He tries screaming for help to uncover their locations, and just like that, he will make sure to seal up those hidden doors tomorrow. The following morning, Sina informs him about a strange man in their village, who was bent over. Hiraku wonders how he was able to make it past all of the angels and even Zabuton. Lu recognizes that he is Valgrafe, the progenitor. Valgrafe congratulates her on having a natural baby and claims that he was drawn by the statues. He's lived for over 4,000 years and remembers meeting God just before he was born, but can't remember his exact appearance since he continues erasing his memories to live long. Valgrafe wants the God statue, but Hiraku says he can't give him the statue and he offers to sculpt him another one. Before leaving, he asks Hiraku how much this statue would cost, but Hiraku tells him that God isn't something he can sell, so Valgrafe promises to find a way of compensating him. Inside the great cathedral, the priest welcomed him back after his 50-year departure, and Valgrafe placed that statue in the best part of the temple. Since Hiraku refused to take payment, he sent the fanciest piano in his nation as a gift. Everyone in the village began playing together, but Hiraku no longer had any hope of sleeping at night. The big yearly harvest has arrived, and the girls wish they could help Lu in any way possible, while Zabuton is ready for the baby shower. Moments later, Hiraku explained the situation to Donovan, and he is glad that his special white creamy substance wasn't the reason people stopped enjoying alcohol.
What do you mean by that?
One day, Hiraku visits his wife, and he notices the flower gift from Tia and the other angels. Soon after, Yaa comes to offer her secret mountain elf medicine. Last, he offers Lu a precious pendant. The wolves offer some of the food they hunted, Zabuton's children gives her some baby clothes. Anne offers her pudding, Lee offers her a flower crown, Harukan offers to peel apples for her, Flora offers her miso soup, Daga offers his blood to help her child grow strong, and Donovan gave them a wooden mallet. After all the commotions, Lu began laboring, so the maids began rushing towels to prepare for the delivery. Later on, Hiraku laid eyes on his child, and as he held him and saw his smile, so it all became real to him. They decided to name their son Alfred, and while he was half vampire, he looked just like a normal human. One day, Hiraku gathered all the village leaders to show them a reward medal that he had created for them, which would eventually develop into their currency. Hiraku wanted to start out by offering these vouchers as a gift that could be exchanged for anything. Everyone reacted differently. Some wanted grape juice, some wanted furniture, and some traded them for Doraem's expensive weapons. Moments later, it was finally time for the big festival to celebrate his child's birth, so all the girls were finally drinking juice for the first time in months. Doraem is back at it again, but his assistant wants to turn this into 50 Shades of Grey. The next day, the demonic kingdom has heard of Hiraku's child being born and wishes to congratulate him. Their village has grown much too strong, so they believe that Yuri should be married to someone from that village, making the demon lord go mad. Tia has discovered that many people are still roaming the forest looking for a place to live, and Hiraku realizes that their current village likely won't have enough space for all of them. Lu suggests creating a second village for all of them, and just like that, they all lived happily ever after.